questions. All right, you, man. Yeah.
I wanted to know the whole part of the season when Bulk and Skull were actually turned into monkeys. Where were you guys at the time when you were just doing voices, as the monkeys? What else were you doing besides that?
Well, I was directing the show. And Narvi was... What were you doing? What were you doing? What the hell? You think you're coming? Nothing happened. Come to my level. What? I don't know. Ask Jason. What was he doing during the monkey time?
Seething. I'm a monkey. For God's sakes. Well, we were preparing Hamlet at that point, and Paulie and I were doing tag team producing. It was the first time I ever produced anything, and we're way over our heads.
And budget.
I'll put it this. Let me tell you how much we spent. We did Hamlet in Simi Valley, and I told you we had done a couple of those. And Simi Valley is a suburb of Los Angeles, okay? LA, not quite known for its love of Shakespeare. Not quite known for its love of theater. Not quite known for much. Then go to the suburbs, which is known even less for that sort of thing. And we said, oh sweet, there's a brand new theater. Let's dump thousands of dollars into a production of Hamlet. And some nights we had 2 people in the audience. I mean, we lost so much money on that show, like tax refund from that year, because it's all tax deductible if you're an actor and you're doing a theater project. Like tax refund funded my first year of college. That's how much money we lost on that show. It was a great production though, man. It was a really good show.
So I mean, in between that, and there was some very brief talk during that time about the spin-off, the Vulcan Skull Show, which unfortunately never happened because of some poor demographic testing. Well, I mean, face it, yeah, you'd think today, like, wow, that would have been cool, and it would have been. It would have been funny. But ultimately, the Ranger Show is an action-adventure show. The comic stuff that Vulcan Skull brought to the show, as wonderful as it was, really wouldn't stand alone and be able to garner the same viewership as a show with much butt-kicking,
Yeah, but they could have at least done a mini-series. Like the Green Ranger series, just like 5 days in life.
Yeah, but you still have the same problem, ultimately, which is, the affiliates will be like, oh yeah, that mini-series where there's no kung fu, just a lot of cakes. We don't want that. Yeah, I mean, and so it's a valid point. Although, in our minds, we had a big spin-off. I mean, we viewed every bit that we had on the show as a completely separate universe from the Ranger Show. And you can tell when we're working and when you see us on camera that we're really committed to making our moments really stand on their own. And we were really annoyed when we had to work with the other actors too, because they're like totally like, God rest your soul, Twee Twang, Twee Twang, Twee. She was not a comedian. She was
Sweetest girl in the world.
Serious dramatic actress, seriously. So when I would say, Twee, hey, can we do kind of like a wacky woogada, and then I'm gonna woogada you over here, and she would look at me like, don't direct me. I was like, that's just a suggestion, Twee. So we would do it anyway, and she would just be like, nothing.
Not going to give in to
She wouldn't give us anything. Nothing. She wouldn't give us a thing. Anyway, we loved Twee.
Okay, how'd you guys enjoy the Doomsday episode when you got to pilot the Megazord?
I've got that question a lot.
That was the rap episode right before Christmas.
Oh, that's right. It was Christmas Eve we were doing that. Christmas Eve we were doing that.
So the crew was unhappy.
I forgot about that. That's right, because I told a lot of people that was the first time that we actually built a Megazord. That was the first time the American crew had a Megazord, and we got to pilot it. And we were really excited about it, about the script of it. And then because it was Christmas, we had worked all the way up through Christmas. And it was coming back from our first break ever. So we were just eager to get our first paychecks and do our Christmas shopping. And that particular night went on until 10 o'clock at night. So we did, that year, we hung out Walmart stuff, because Walmart's open 24 hours, Here's a toilet seat. Thanks.
Merry Christmas, Ma. I'm an actor. I make money. See?
I forgot about that.
I mean, I loved it, although we weren't really allowed to touch anything in the cockpit because it was very, very freshly painted and was going to fall apart.
The entire set was made of Cheese Whiz, by the way.
And cardboard.
Cheese Whiz and cardboard.
Cheese Whiz and cardboard, you know, when viewed as a layered media, is actually quite strong, and they use it in the space shuttle. They do. They do.
Let's get this one and then that one.
Obviously, my favorite episode of Bulk and Skull would be Winners Wager, Not Wager. Do you guys have a favorite episode? It's where you guys save the Rangers.
Oh, yeah. Do that.
Well, I liked having a girlfriend. That one episode. But I think for me, a countdown to destruction. Yeah, because we got to kick ass. We did. We got to hurt cogs. We got to kick cog.
That was cool. I like the Western episode just because it was fun to
Totally.
shoot. So that was a blast. We got to have these mules that hated us. And if you watch the footage, you'll think it's a stuntman. But at one point, Paulie and I ride off in the distance, and they put it in fast motion because these little teeny donkeys could not get up to speed. I got that sucker going by laying a spur into him. Until he decided he didn't like it. Then he spins 3 times in the air and tries to chuck me off. But we're way the hell off in the distance, and they just so happen to cut away for a second and then cut back so everyone thinks that they put a stuntman in. I'm like, no! I was the almost dead guy! Remember that?
You know, we did all of our own stunts on the show for a very long time until they did the feature film in Australia. And then somebody realized they might not want to break us because we had to be in the movie. So from then on, we had Ed Neal posing as me and doing all kinds of crazy falls in a fat suit. And the days of us having to roll down hills in 50-gallon trash cans were over.
Well, yeah, you know, that's kind of funny, too, when you think about it. Why do they even need to put a person in that trash can? Why couldn't they just put a dummy? They did, Ed. I'm saying that because Ed's not here. He would kill me. I love Ed.
Hey, buddy, in the back with your hand up. What's up?
Alright, well, actually, it's a two-part question. On something Countdown to Destruction. Now, I know that in Countdown to Destruction, they reveal and Bulk and Skull finally get the space rangers.
Right,
But
them.
in like, say, continuity, do they ever learn the identity of the original Rangers with the exception of the Black Skull?
Well, guys, you know, I think universal logic and continuity of place and time is something that you know you can't expect from this universe. So ultimately, anytime you ask me one of those questions, it's like you're saying Cleveland or pineapple. Because there's no context to that question. Did they? No. You know they didn't. And that's kind of a bummer. Like, I think maybe with a little bit more work, it would have been really easy to sew the universe together, at least in a real kind of cursory, kind of